Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. My name is Nicky Muscle from MitigateStress.com, home of the world's best magnesium, and also www.rpm.fit, our new website, fitness, recovery, performance, muscle, functional bodybuilding, where we have our functional bodybuilding course and our new free stick flow recovery guide. What is stick flow, real quick? Well, if you see people walking in public or in the mall, anywhere, oftentimes you see them with their feet pointed out, and they're just using their legs to walk, and they're not even twisting with their upper body. Stick flow teaches you how to twist with your upper body, how to use your upper body, which is the other half of your body, as an engine, which helps to add power, production, performance, recovery, circulation, drainage. Every sport you can think of, even if you're just hiking or walking, even if you just want to be able to think properly, cognitive function, you need to be able to twist your spine in order to feed and drain the brain. So that's what stick flow teaches you to do. It's the ultimate performance tool. It's the foundation for pretty much everything. You have to be able to use that spine, those ribs, synergistically with the hips. Now, going back to that, what is the point of this video? Well, walking in a sense. We're always trying to optimize our walking gait. But I wanted to get back into trigger pointing, because trigger pointing can be done right. It can also be a complete waste of time. Today, we're going to be focusing on the upper outer hamstrings, which are going to be what I was just talking about, influencing that externally rotated portion of the femurs, the knees, the patella, right, and the feet, mostly. Also, the calves will affect that, the quad 45s, the TFL, the glute medius, all that. But the upper outer hamstrings are super duper important. Each trigger point video that I'm going to reintroduce, because we've done a bunch of trigger point videos in the past, I just wanted to do a new fresh batch of videos. That's why this video is going to be a little bit longer, because I wanted to really emphasize the correct way to trigger point. And that is, if you find that specific hot spot, the right one for each muscle, which there is a specific hot spot I'm going to teach you, it's going to basically unlock the floodgates of circulation and drainage, and it will help fix pretty much the rest of the muscle. Obviously, we need to do corrective exercises because you got to rewire the nervous system to make sure that you don't default back to your faulty movement patterns. But if you are able to find that floodgate of fascial restriction, you're going to rehydrate that fascia, you're going to unlock that circulation drainage plug, if you want to call it that, right? So each muscle has that. Today is going to be the hamstring, so the upper outer hamstring. You can also hit the upper middle, not a big deal. But let's say we hit the quads next time, we're going to be most definitely hitting the quad upper 45, right? So if you hit the upper quad 45, you won't need to hit the rest of the quad, wasting so much time. It's going to make such a big difference just hitting this very, very deeply, correctly, which we're going to show you how. Same thing with the calves, the abs, the pecs, the traps, everywhere, right? So let's grab our balls. We got a lacrosse ball or a medium-sized blue ball, and we got a large ball. It's kind of a problem. I prefer something a little bit in between these for this one, so preferably a softball, which I don't have with me, surprisingly, because I use it on every video. But I'm going to show you anyways, regardless, because it all works. But get your softball, you're going to sit on the side of a bench, and you're simply just going to put it under your butt, but on the outside portion of your butt. You can even be on a stool. I prefer a stool, but this actually works just fine. And what we're going to do is stand up as tall as we can, sit up as tall as we can. We're going to make sure that our lower back is not rounding, because that's going to loosen the hamstring too much. We actually want to create some tension on it, right? So arch the back, if anything, and then put as much pressure into that ball as you can on the upper outer lateral hamstring. We're going to breathe. I'm going to time myself. We're going to go just for 2 minutes here, but realistically, I want you to spend at least 3 to 5 minutes each side. Once you find that nasty hot spot, spend at least a minute exploring, scanning, doing small micro movements until you find that deep, dull, achy, tender hot spot. Right there, I found it. I'm going to put all my weight into it, and as I sit up nice and tall and inhale, I'm going to lean over, and then you can also play with bringing the foot up, big toe up, as hard as you can for 10 seconds. As you put as much pressure in as you can, relax it, go deep with that ball, that trigger point. I'm going to go actually another minute. Why not? Keep massaging it. Yeah, the intro was a little bit longer. I'm going to try to shorten up a little bit more, but I want you guys to get clear on what stick flow is, what our business model is, our 2 different websites we got now, and the importance of trigger pointing correctly. It's very important that I start off with that spiel. And I say that because I do have some people that complain. Very rarely, it's like 1% of people that do complain that, oh, these videos are too long, you blab on too much. You can go to another video, it's not a big deal, but it's important that I clarify things. I'll probably put a timestamp for those impatient ADHD people that spend too much time on YouTube anyways, right? I notice we just get more impatient the more we just spend time on YouTube thinking we're gaining all this knowledge, but in reality, it's like it's dumbing us down as a society, as a collective, because we're not retaining information anymore. So go back to reading books. But this is the kind of stuff you don't find in books too much, so stay here at least. Anyways, I'm still on the trigger point, going as intensely as I can, deep into it, putting my weight into it, sitting up nice and tall. Let's go for another round. You can do this for 10 cycles, 3 cycles, whatever you want. Oh, see how it's shaking? That's what you want. It's one of my favorite ones to do because more often than not is this one pulled on so many different people. By the way, again, you can be on the middle portion if you want, upper middle. But just stay on the upper portion. Upper 3/4 or all the way up under the butt, directly under that butt bone. Outer, middle, that's pretty much the area you want to be in. So it's really just that area. I'm going to do the right side now because that's been about 2 minutes or 1.5 minutes roughly. All right, but pause the video, go for at least 3 to 5 minutes. My microphone's bouncing around like crazy. Again, find that hotspot, scan it. You can go a little bit lower if you want, if it tends to be a little bit more tender, especially if you've been doing this for a while, you can definitely explore a little bit more because sometimes the trigger point can travel a little bit, but this is why it's very important to incorporate the corrective exercises by our functional bodybuilding course. Stick flow. Sit up nice and tall. Put all your weight into that one, that trigger point, that hot spot. Deep, dull, achy, tender hot spot, about an 8 out of 10 pain, or 7.5 roughly. How do you know? Well, it should be screaming. It shouldn't make you stress more. It shouldn't make you more tight, right? You should be relatively comfortable through the pain. Well, you're slightly out your comfort zone, right? Again, just not tensing up. We don't want to make more stress. Breathe, deep. Rinse and repeat with the flexion. I'm kind of just playing around, right? I'm not too strict with this. That's how you want to do it. You want to explore, scan, play with it, and then you want to go deep, get serious, and then do your flexion. It's actually knee extension. Breathe. Go deep as you can, to the bone. That's the goal. Always go to the bone with your trigger points. There is some discrepancy there, of course. It's been roughly 1.5 minutes. Let's go a little bit longer. Again, pause the video, 3 to 5 minutes each side, no doubt. It's very, very important because this is a big influencer in the whole body. You can also do this on a Smith machine, on a barbell that's elevated. Just make sure you angle on the outside. I could even go a little bit more on the outside right here, or I could go a little bit more on the middle upper portion. Just use your discernment. The upper middle actually might be a little bit worse for me. Upper middle, outer kind of area. You got to be very specific with this, but journal it, take some notes, figure out what's worse for you. Hit this every other day if you want, but we're going to be hitting some more trigger points here more often, so just pay attention and follow the next video. If you want, you could hit this every day for a couple weeks, and then maintenance would be like once a week or something, twice a week, whatever you want, just sort of here and there. But you got to make sure, again, you have the corrective exercises. All right, that's pretty much it. Very simple. I want to keep it simple for that reason. Again, we just hit the hamstrings. You can hit other portions of the hamstrings, but like I said earlier, I want to just focus on the heavy hitters, and that would be the upper, middle, outer portion of the hamstring, because it's like a floodgate. And now, again, I'll show you the floodgates on the rest of the body, because if you hit it correctly, intensely, keep enough. If it's not tender in the slightest, you're wasting your time. So definitely do some exploration work, some modifications. You may need to go a little bit lower. Yours might be a little bit lower, might be a little bit higher. Figure it out. But I will see you next video. Peace.